Ladies and gentlemen, today is a premiere episode here at Hot Trades of the Day. I'm gonna introduce a new sector that I think is starting a massive bull run in the coming years and is the most interesting sector in the tech space that nobody's talking about. I know you come here for the commodity analysis and the mining stocks, but if you're into making money like me, this is a video you do not want to miss. First time reveal of my new favorite sector in the tech space. Let's get into it. Welcome to Hot Trades of the Day, your show for swing trading ideas for the coming days, weeks, and month. Welcome to Hot Trades of the Day. My name is Daniel Wilhelmi. Let's get right into it. You see the QQQs here, and it's starting to look a little better short to midterm. We're starting and trying to establish ourselves above the 50-day, above this very important support zone. As you can see, it has been support for a long time for the QQQs, meaning the ETF, for the NASDAQ. And if we can establish ourselves above it and above this downtrend channel, then we really have a chance to start a new uptrend, or at least a next leg of a relief rally. Either one is fine. When would that start? That's very easy to say. We need to close above this line, therefore making a new high. But I just want to take this moment to point out that where we are right now is the exact time that we were in October, November, December. Remember how the people on YouTube, the pundits were screaming, the crash is coming, Armageddon in the tech market is coming. And I was here saying, it's going to be a correction, it's going to be tough, but it's not a crash. It's not the end of the world. Don't go short. Don't get taken out of the markets. Don't panic. And look where we are. If you just held the QQQs and you just went into, I don't know, hibernation, maybe in the Maldives, that would be a nice hibernation. And you woke up today and you look at it, you're right where you were in October. Does that look like a crash to you? Doesn't look like a crash to me. Yes. This down move, 13% in about a month and a half, yes, that's wild. But that is not a crash, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? I've been in crashs, minus 30%, minus 50%, minus 60%, minus 80% in tech stocks when the new economy boom was exploding, imploding, all kinds of plodings happening there. This is still a pretty healthy correction because you look at the 200-day and it's pointing up. Short term, yes, we see the 50-day here, the purple line, coming down. Clearly, dynamic is leaving the tech sector. And here's where things starting to get really interesting for us. Because here at Hot Trades of the Day, we try to think ahead. We try to be ahead of the market. We try to find what is the next hot trend that's coming for the next quarters, years, that we can make by positioning ourselves early, easy money, the same way we did with the energy sector. If you followed this channel for a while, you know the first 3 quarters of 2025, I was bearish on oil, I was bearish on the energy stocks. And then I flipped last fall, became bullish, started recommending here and suggesting that investments in energy and energy stocks, especially the energy stocks, could be a good idea. And look where that got us. We were one of the first to get on that bandwagon. Right? That was easy money. Nobody was on that yet. They all jumped on January, first quarter this year. So we like to add new sectors here, new areas where we find bull markets that the market has not even recognized are happening. And while, as you know, I'm a true believer in the commodity supercycle, I'm in the markets to make money to live a better life. That is what I care about. And nobody can deny that there's a lot of money to be made in the tech sector. You may not like the tech stocks, you may not like the chip boom or the Max 7s, but you have to admit, boy, there's a lot of money to be made in tech. But as we can also see looking at this chart, not much has happened in tech clearly in the past half year, right? We have the distribution. Most of the Max 7 stocks look really bad. Meltdown in the software sector because, well, people are really worried that AI is going to destroy the software sector. But if software is the loser of AI, and we know where there's a loser, there's always a winner, maybe not 100% correlated. So let's find the winner from the AI boom. And I found it. Let's get into it. Let me show you this chart right here. Let's start off with this. Okay, here we go. So what you see here in blue is what we just saw, the QQQ, over the past 10 years. So since 2016. Great run. The chart that you see in the bottom, the candlestick chart, green and red, that is the NBI, the Nasdaq Biotech Index. So the index for the biotech stocks in the Nasdaq. And as you can see, we have a crazy underperformance in the biotechs compared to the Nasdaq composite. All the focus was on AI, on chips, on the Max 7s. Nobody cared about the biotech stocks. Though there was good money to be made last year. I gave you Gilead Sciences, for example, on this channel that had done really well. But biotech is completely out. Okay, now let me show you this. Now we're going to zoom forward to 2025. So this is the same chart as you see on the weekly, Nasdaq Composite in blue, green and red, NBI, Nasdaq Biotech Index since 2025. And look what is happening. Nobody's talking about this, but since last winter, the biotechs have actually massively outperformed the overall Nasdaq Composite Index. That hasn't happened. You just saw the long-term chart in the past 10 years. And now it's happening. And it's holding. And as you can also see, in the correction, the Nasdaq Biotech Index lost a lot less than the Nasdaq Composite. What is going on? Well, the first thing that we have to clearly see is there's a bull market in the biotechs. It's starting. We see it with the outperformance against the overall tech market. Biotech, in my opinion, will be one of the new hot bull markets in the tech space. And therefore, we're going to talk about biotech in the future a lot more and regularly here at Hot Trades of the Day, because I believe we're going to make a ton of money. And I'll tell you in a second why that is. And by the way, if you like this content, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any videos in the future when we talk about biotech, because what I'm telling you right now is a colossal fundamental shift that is going on in the biotech sector. And the broader market hasn't even realized it, but the smart money is starting to realize it. And we can see it because they're starting to invest in it, but nobody's talking about it. Remember last fall? Remember when I was telling you, hey, I see accumulation in the energy stocks, but the oil price is not moving. They're using the institutions, the smart money. using the lower oil prices as a shield to hide their purchases of energy stocks and oil stocks. I see almost the exact same thing in the biotech sector right now. You can see the accumulation clearly. Look at it in the chart here. We see the outperformance against tech, but they are hiding it. Nobody's talking about it yet. But why are they buying biotech? Well, one of the reasons is that rate cuts are expected. And a lot of the biotech companies don't make any money, but they spend a lot of money developing drugs. So usually when you get a lot of rate cuts, that's good for the biotech sector. But we have had low interest rates in the past and it didn't do much for the biotech sector. So that can't be the only reason. No. The true reason is something else. And this is where things get really, really interesting. And this is why I'm so interested in biotech on different levels. And to help you understand this, the last time we had a real biotech boom was in 2000 to 2002. And I was in the markets then already. And actually biotech and tech internet, those were the first sectors that I was covering back then. And I was really interested in. And I'm no biologist, but I am really interested in biotechnology, in the development of new medications, helping people, treating diseases, making our lives better, right? We're getting older. I'm over 50 years old. And if we get lucky and we get great new drugs developed fast, that'll make our lives a lot better. And that's exactly what's going to happen. Here is the biotech story that nobody's talking about right now, that we here at Hot Trades of the Day know. That is the true reason why biotech is coming back to life in a big way in the coming quarters and years. And it is AI. So to fully understand this, let's go back in time, back to the future, DeLorean style. 2019, 2018, I'm at a conference in New York. And there was a biotech company. They were really the first ones, private back then. They're public now. Back then they were still private, and they were trying to get investors for a capital raise. And they had developed an algorithm that was analyzing data of failed medical trials of drugs and looking if maybe there were certain subgroups within the trial population where the drug actually worked. So for example, let's say you develop a breast cancer drug. Some biotech company does. And they're in phase 2 or phase 3 trials. And the trial results come back and there is no significant improvement in the patients overall compared to the placebo. So the drug fails, the stock craters. It's the same pattern that happens all the time. This algorithm then would go in, would analyze the data and see, okay, it failed overall, but maybe there's a subgroup, let's say women 40 to 50, where the drug actually worked. It may not have worked for the other age groups, but it might work for this group. And then they would buy this drug on the cheap, right, and develop it specifically for this age group. This, ladies and gentlemen, I didn't know it back then when I was in the room. They were basically the pioneers of AI in the biotech sector. There was no AI back then, and there wasn't even a thing. They had developed a very complex software algorithm, but this is the thing that's happening now. Because of AI, the biotech sector is getting revolutionized on 2 levels. And that is why we see this comeback from biotech. And that is the reason why I believe that biotech will be one of the most interesting sectors in the tech space in the coming years and will offer us amazing opportunities to make money. First thing is, more and more biotech companies are starting to use AI to optimize their drugs, to reduce the risk of failure by running models through AI, pre-trial, and then learning, oh, this drug that we're developing for XYZ disease is specifically useful and successful in this age group or in this specific demographic group. And then they can target the patients for the tests for this group. AI also, and this makes things really interesting, helps reduce the costs and the time to develop drugs. So we have a complete shift in the biotech sector. It took forever, often 10 years, to develop a drug from preclinical, which was basically the thesis that was developed. You block some gene, whatever, right? To then tests on mice to validate that thesis, and then you move it into the 3 clinical phases, and then hopefully you're successful, and then you get approval from the FDA. Now this time frame is now going to shrink significantly because of AI, because now biotech companies have the chance to run models, optimize their trials, and save a lot of money that way. We're going to get into a phase that is completely new, that has not been there in biotech probably since the internet age started. It's the biggest revolution for biotech since the internet age started. I remember back then that was one of the reasons why we had that biotech boom 2000 to 2002. That was, all of a sudden all this information was available on the internet. That before that, biotech scientists had to very time and money consumingly accumulate. Now you just use the internet. You can find trial data on the internet. AI is the next step. This is also the step to what people that are getting up there in age like me are really looking forward to. And you might be too if you're older. And that is personalized medicine. Medicine that is specifically triggered, like I was talking about earlier in the breast cancer example, to specific groups. And at some point we'll get there where it'll even be specifically for you as a patient. The biohacking, the longevity movement, you probably have heard about it. That is not some Twilight vampire movie fiction anymore. It's coming, and AI is playing a major role in this. So the biotech sector is actually a big time winner of AI. And we're starting to see this play out in the markets. And we here at Hot Trades of the Day going to be on this early. So that is it for today. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed. Also, newsletter video tomorrow, Drinks with Dan. If you have a question, boy, we got some really good questions. We got some questions that are so good that I'm actually going to use them to make main videos for the channel out of it, because it's macro related, and it's really important that I think we need a full video on this and not like a 3-minute answer. But if you want to get your question in, put it in the comments today, right? After today, tomorrow, we'll figure out the questions. We're going to record the video. You can sign up for the free newsletter. It's free. We're not going to spam you. You'll see you'll get really good quality content about once a month, so pretty chill. And it's free. Link is in the comments, or go to bullmarketlifestyle.com. That's it for today. Have a great start to your weekend. We'll see us tomorrow. Bye-bye.